Hey, what's up, you guys? Today we're gonna be doing another Duelist Next opening, but it's not gonna be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Centered discussion. Today I actually want to talk about one of my most, nice, I can't even cut it, there you go. One of my most, oh, what the hell is going on? Sorry about that, I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. I made a weird-ass cut, but anyways. I want to talk about one of the games I'm most excited about this year, which is Mortal Kombat 1. Probably, I would say the two franchises that I essentially grew up with are Call of Duty and Pokemon. But Mortal Kombat is pretty up there that I played. I'm pretty sure most of the games, not all of them. I'm not gonna lie and say I have, but I played all the original ones in arcades and everything. When I would go in vacation to this one spot in Nayarit in Mexico, they would have this little restaurant with arcade cabinets, and I would play. They had 2 and 3. I would play it all the time. It was so much fun. Holy shit, so addictive too. I mean, back then I didn't unlock any secret characters or anything, but so much potential in just an arcade. Something you would think it's so much more simplistic, but crazy stuff, man. But and then I play a 3D or hell to this day upstairs. If I go upstairs right now, I still have Deception on the original Xbox. I am planning on getting an Xbox Series later on, so hey, maybe I'll be able to play it. But and then obviously I played the NRS once, which I guess some people have been kind of contentious about, but I've for the most part been a fan. So I do want to clarify though that this video and for the 4 sections, well, one of them is gonna be the battle or multiplayer section. So I guess except that section, but for the most part, 3 out of 4 sections are gonna be focused on single player content. Because to be quite honest, I'm more so single player, kind of games type of dude. I like mostly games like adventure style, like Pokemon, Zelda, the God of War series. I'm a huge fan. The new Spider-Man series. I like the Batman Arkham games. Oh man, those games are so good. Arkham Knight was so hated for no reason. I loved it so much. So, anyways, those type of games. And then I also, what's another one that I played recently? I am playing through Demon Souls finally. I had it for so long and I'm finally playing through it, but man, it's so good. And then Mass Effect is another of my, those type of games. You get the point. RPGs, open world, those type of games. I also like horror games, but ooh, that's another ultra. What the hell? You get the point. Those are like type of games that I mostly play. So you might be like, what the hell? Why is one of your favorite games Mortal Kombat then? If it's a, obviously a fighting game, and you assume by default that you're gonna play online and stuff. But to be honest, not really. I feel like Mortal Kombat is the one fighting game series that always understood that importance of carrying to single player, and they always saw the potential there. And I mean, if you look at it, I think aside from Smash, I think they are the highest selling, and I think that's for a reason. I think they tapped into that audience early on. If you think about it, go back to the three era. The Conquest mode, that shit was revolutionary, man. That shit was something else. It was they really changed the game with that one, and people who would play the arcades and who would only occasionally. I'm not saying obviously, I don't play online at all. Like obviously I'll hop on every once in a while and stuff, but I'm saying mostly as single player content. Like I feel like they nailed it. They had the tower endings, all the different endings. You could do Conquest, and then in Deception even better, they expanded the Conquest mode. They had all these secrets. You would pray behind a random hut somewhere, and you would unlock Zombie Liu Kang. Like, what the fuck? They had so much nostalgia, and at the same time, new stuff coming in. You could explore all 5 realms. That shit was crazy, man. That game, and then he had extra modes as well. Man, the 3D era games or something else. And then Armageddon. I mean, honestly, to be quite honest, I feel like Armageddon is the weakest of the. I know it has the most characters, but they all just felt so bare bones. But anyways, today's video is not about my thoughts on the MK franchise and my feelings on it. But I want to talk about MK1, what I'm excited about, what I'm hoping for. And because I'm pretty excited, to be quite honest. You know, I do hate the name that it's MK1. I feel like it's gonna be a nightmare to name the next game's coming forward. I wonder if they're gonna name it MK13 or MK2. What do you guys think? Comment if it's gonna be MK2 or MK13. But anyways, I wanted to talk about 4 main things. You know, nothing too crazy. Just 4 basic categories. Just the ones I feel like are the most important, you know, to any MK game. Again, this is mostly from a single player perspective. So please keep that in mind. I'm not gonna be like, oh, they need to adjust this frame and this frame. Well, I wanted to separate the ultra, but they need to fix this frame and, you know, these and this. But I will comment on something though. Towards the end, I will talk about multiplayer, and just the one thing or the 2, 3 things that I kind of hope to see. But anyways, the first thing I want to talk about, the most important part to me personally, is the characters. And so far, honestly, I feel like they've been doing such a good job. They've included a lot of, to be quite honest, you know, if you haven't seen some of the leaks, I've only been spoiled to 2 or 3. I think it's, no, well, one was already confirmed, so it's only 2 more that haven't been confirmed that I've already been spoiled by. So if you don't know any leaks, if you're not interested, skip 10 seconds now. So I was spoiled Havoc and Asher. So anyways, I feel like they've been doing such a good job, you know, representing all the different eras. They've included, I mean, Trilogy. It's laughable to say Trilogy. They're never gonna, you know, fuck up with Trilogy. They're always gonna... The fact that Sonya is not is kind of concerning, but I feel like they definitely can include... and, you know, here's the cool thing. If you include her, you can finally give her a story, you know, away from Kano. Because I feel like that story, it always goes in circle. It reminds me of Tom and Jerry. It's just like a never-ending cartoon. Like, come on, dude. Like, at some point, there has to be some development. So, either hopefully they introduce them and they actually develop the story this time. Hopefully a little more. Or they finally give her a chance to shine. Or him, you know, either or. I'll take either or. Because right now, none of them are confirmed. So... But like I was saying, from Trilogy, I feel like, you know, they've done an amazing job, you know. I feel like most people are pretty happy with it. You know, they represented, obviously, Sub-Zero, all those guys. Baraka, we have Johnny Cage, we have, you know, Tanya, we have, what's this called? What's the other one called? Or Trilogy, or I'll call it Arcade, because I guess MK4 is also Arcade. I don't count it as 3D, so I'll also count MK4. So from Arcade, you know, I feel like we're pretty good. Rain as well. So, hey, amazing characters so far. I'm pretty happy. Smoke. You can't imagine how happy I was to see Smoke, because I hadn't seen any of the leaks by then. So I actually was surprised by it. So cool. You know, when you actually don't know and it's like, oh, shit, what the hell? Man, I would have loved to not known about one of the leaked ones that I mentioned. I won't mention it again since, you know, in case you haven't seen it and you skipped the 10 seconds. But... ah, man, I do wish I had that, you know, genuine reaction to it. I mean, it's still cool, you know, seeing the gameplay and how they look and stuff. But anyways, and they also, you know, 3D era, I feel like it's the main topic. I feel like, you know, everyone's going crazy for it. And I feel like they finally listened. They finally are bringing back Darius, Lee May. They're bringing back Kenshi. Who else is 3D? Oh, the 2 leaked ones I mentioned. I won't do it again, but those guys as well. And then, let me show this cat. Look at this cat. I love the art of this one. It literally reminds me of my cat. Because my cat is a Persian one. He's just sitting there all day. But anyways, and then from the NRS era, which, here's a little point out, a little hypocrisy I've noticed. If you were a fan of MK back in 2010, give or take, before... let's say 2008 to 2011, so right before MK9 came out. If you had told someone, hey, I'm a fan of Darius, they would have laughed at you. If you had told someone you're a fan of Dairu, they would have laughed at you. If you're told someone you're a fan of Moloch, Dramin, Meat, Mocap, all these, you know, 3D characters, they would have laughed at you. No, most people were not fans of them. Cobra, Kira, hell, you name them. Obviously, yeah, they had you know, some bangers like Havoc. You know, that one's been universally loved ever since he came out. But my point is, you know, so many people hate on the NRS characters, but I find it kind of funny that usually when they introduce new characters, that's kind of how it goes. It's not just an NRS thing, my dude. And recently, which is nostalgia at its finest, of course, recently, you see people, asking for, oh, hey, you should. I was on Twitter the other day. I couldn't believe it. I saw someone actually tweet at Ed Boon. They were like, Ed Boon, you should make Darius playable in Combat Pack 2. I laughed so hard. Man, if you had told me 10 years ago that someone would be asking for Darius to be back in the game, or Cobra, for example. I've seen people ask for fucking Cobra, for Christ's sake. It's like, what? It's crazy how nostalgia works, man. But I do like it, though. Since it's a new timeline and everything, I feel like they've actually done a pretty good job with the remodeling of some of them, with the rewriting of some of them. Even some of the original characters, I feel like, got a hell of a glow up. If you look at characters like Baraka now, his gameplay, he was doing airtime now. What the hell? He was looking crazy in there. And now he's like a sort of like hero to the Tarkatan people, which are infected people now. They're like zombies now. So that was kind of cool. We also have, characters like Lee May coming back. I think that's pretty cool. Tanya. Hey man, I'm all for it. The 2 leaked ones that I mentioned, of course. Geras, which I'm pretty happy with. From the NRS era, who's another one that I would like to see? From 9, I would love Scarlet back, but I don't see it. She's been back already. She was in 9, 11, so it makes sense. She got skipped on 10, even though she was in the comics, which is kind of funny. She most likely will get skipped on 12 as well, so I don't see it. So from 9, probably no one. I don't want to see Cyber Sub-Zero, to be quite honest with you, because I don't want to see him turn into a cyborg. So yeah, we're going to skip that one. From 10, though, here we go. Since none of we eliminate 4 guys or 4 characters off the roster right away. That's kind of funny. All the Kombat kids, even though one of them is DLC, Takeda got announced, so that's kind of neat. I would like to see, in that case, if I had to choose someone from 10. Now, it makes it kind of hard without the Kombat kids. It leaves only Aaron Black and... Kotal Khan. I would like to see Kotal Khan. Because I think it would be interesting seeing his... I don't see it happening since he's already been on 2 games. And they usually treat him, pretty bad. But hey, they usually treat Baraka like shit, and they look at him. He's evolving now, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I feel like they can definitely redeem my boy Kotal, so he doesn't have to be, just a jobber. They can show him as a general. They can show him leading, the Aztec people. I think that would be pretty cool. Just seeing him, before, like, what's up. To maybe that way some people will gain some newfound respect. Because, yeah, after Aftermath, gosh. That plummeted to an all-time low. Kotal's stocks plummeted, to say the least. If you were a fan, that must have been a rough time for you, to say the least. And other than that, I mean, realistically speaking, which other character? Oh, from 11, because, yeah, like I said, from 10, it's kind of hard without the comic kids. With 11, I would like to see... Gara's probably the best newcomer. I would like to see their Collector or Cetron. I feel like they made fine additions. They just didn't have a kind of a good story to shine on. So hopefully they give one of the 2 a chance. Oh no, actually, wait. Let me go back to 10. Screw. What did I even? No, add. It's fine. Let's add to what I say for 10. Add the war. I would love to see the war. I know some people hate her because she's an effective villain, but then people get mad that the villains are jobbers. So it's like, wait, what? I don't get it. I will talk about this a bit more because I do think it's more so related as well to the fact that she's the only one who gets to kill people, which I think it's a whole, story issue, which will be my, so I guess spoiler is going to be my section number 2. But yeah, I would like to see the war back. And I feel like that's pretty much it. I feel like that would, there's not that many spots left, so, kind of hard. So I'm guessing they're going to probably fill it up mostly with, I would say, Trilogy and 3D era characters. So that's it for characters. I feel like they're doing a pretty good job. I feel like, so far they've done a pretty amazing job redesigning the guys who needed it, like Baraka, Geras. I even feel like Geras got a, slight tweak to his design, which made him, kind of cooler. Makes him look more so like a God of War character or some shit. Pretty sick. But the second thing I wanted to talk about, which, again, characters is the most important one. That's why it took so long. I feel like, characters and, are what makes a fighting game, realistically speaking, in all sense of the word, in both the story and make terms of, hey, is this fun? Is this roster fun? Are you representing all types of, the styles? Are you representing grapplers, zoners, straight up attack combo beast, all this type of stuff? Hopefully not too many zoners. God, I fucking hate fighting against those. But hey, I feel like they're doing so far, so far so good. And the second thing I want to talk about is the story. There's, realistically speaking, only one thing I want to talk about with the story, and is make the villains competent, please. Here's the thing. Here's where we come into conflict. Would you prefer to have villain chapters, or would you prefer to lose fights? And by that, I don't mean, make it impossible to win type of deal. I mean, you win in the fight, but in the cutscene, they kick your ass. Because I know a lot of people don't like that. Either or. So here's what I propose. Just have villain chapters in between. Or what you could do, but that's the thing though. I feel like that's not really gonna solve the pool. That's cool, man. Another for Noble Arms. I feel like that's not really gonna solve the issue though, because I feel like people are still gonna say, well, in the main story there's still jobbers. Because what I was gonna say is, okay, have the main story, and they have like a little side expansion once you beat the story that goes through the villains, like steps of the way, like their story instead. So I feel like that would be kind of cool, but I feel like that wouldn't really solve the issue. So yeah, I feel like the best way to go about this would be solution one. Just have some villain chapters interspersed. And I feel like that would add a lot to the story, It would make we would get to see what they're doing. They don't just seem reactive. They actually seem, they're actually progressive themselves. They're actually, doing their own thing. They're not just waiting for the heroes to come in. Oh, well, I guess it's time to get our asses kicked. I guess it's time to die. They're actually, progressing their own plot and stuff. So I feel like that would, add a lot to it. If they added villain chapters and they actually let, the villains win every once in a while. Shit. And also, here's like the second part of the story part. Again, none of this part, the other parts are going to be as long as the characters. Because again, I feel like that's the most important part. But the thing I hope to see also in story is that you're actually willing to kill characters. And here's what I was going to talk about the war as well that I wanted to mention here. Don't relegate yourself to only one character killing, someone else. Because I feel like that was the issue with 9. They relegated Sindel to be the killing machine pretty much. And in 11, it was the same, or with the war, I kind of felt the same thing, that they were like, well, shit, I guess you're going to be our character killer. And they just used her mostly as that character that she could absorb the hate pretty much type of deal. If that makes sense. So I feel like if you could do better with the villain chapters again, and then, you can show them actually, earning that win, earning that. Because I feel like the issue with the Scorpion death in 11 is that it didn't feel earned. Is that she just came out of nowhere and stabs him and said, what the fuck? So a lot of people were mad. To be quite honest, I mean, the past Scorpion was fine, and at the end they restarted it, so I was like, oh, I mean, shit, it doesn't really fucking matter, I guess. So I was kind of indifferent about it, to be quite honest. And I also like that, the younger one learned the lesson from the older one, that like, okay, you need to kind of let go, you don't need to be so fucking pissed all the time. So I do like that, but I'm kind of hoping to see, that they actually, I mean, it's called Mortal Kombat, for fuck's sake, like, let characters kill each other. I'm not saying everyone, I'm not saying, okay, like, if you're fighting Baraka in one fight, randomly he's dead. But, like, have, the ability to kill a couple of characters, not just, like, one dude died in the entire story. It's like, oh, okay. Like, I get it, someone's favorite is gonna die, I get it. But, I mean, in Mortal Kombat, everyone always dies. Liu Kang has died, like, 3 times. And now he's the god, ultimate time god, so you never know, man. I'm just saying, I think it would add a lot of, impact to the story, and it would actually make it feel more, like the villains are actually, imposing, and actually, something that we should fear, not just something that is like, oh, well, just come here, I guess I'll just kick your ass right now. So, kind of what I'm hoping for the story is just make the villains more imposing, give them villain chapters. That's my main takeaway from this one. And 3, with shoehorn. I am shoehorning this one because this is totally just a personal whim and not required. But I really hope Onaga is the main villain. I feel like he's the only villain that they haven't revisited, well, except Blaze. But I'm not the biggest fan of Blaze, to be quite honest. I love the Taven and Dagon story, don't get me wrong. It's just Blaze, I don't like Blaze. And I don't really, I mean, I like the design. I feel like the design was kind of unique. Don't let me get distracted. Point is, yeah, I hope Onaga is the villain. I feel like he has such a cool design, especially imagine how he will look next gen. Holy shit, that will look insane. And then part 3, which I will touch up, also kind of a big one, kind of like story, I feel like. Conquest mode. We definitely need to see this back, especially now with Street Fighter 6 having it pretty much conquest mode. You definitely need to have that experience, man. And I'm not saying, oh, just because Street Fighter 6 has it, you need to have it. Not really, but I'm saying, like Mortal Kombat, like I was talking about earlier, is the pioneer of single player content in fighting games. Like before MK9, that story mode, dude, that shit, I don't think you understand what that changed in fighting games. That forced companies to say, wait, we actually need to add a story. Just adding character chapters and towers pretty much and online isn't good enough anymore. Look at how Street Fighter 5 launched. Just look at how it launched. I bought it at launch and what the fuck was that for a single player game? I was pissed. But then compared to Street Fighter 6 and all those lessons that they learned and all the value that they poured into the single player now. And now, they have pretty much a whole conquest mode. I feel like they really listened to that feedback and I'm so happy. I really hope Mortal Kombat did as well. Because so far, yeah, obviously, I'm not saying the story mode is bad or anything. I mean, I love it. That's pretty much the only reason why I buy it at this point. Just for the lore and, to keep up. But I really hope that they add that and they let us, because here's the thing, now you have characters from all 5 realms. You have from Order Realm, you have Darius, you have from Chaos Realm, if you know, you know. From Nether Realm, we have, wait, who's from Nether Realm? We definitely have someone from Nether. Hold up. Oh shit, wait, do we have someone from the Nether Realm? Oh, do you, wait, Scorpion isn't on us, Spectre anymore, what the hell? Who's from the Nether Realm? Baraka isn't from the Nether Realm. We have someone from Outworld. Earthrealm, obviously. And, oh, I know some, okay, well, if you know, you know. It's the similar, now I remember. I didn't want to mention it. If you know, you know, a similar situation to Chaos Realm. Point is, we have representatives of all 5 realms, finally. So I feel like it would be such a missed opportunity to not let us at least explore them. Now, I'm not saying give us, Breath of the Wild type of exploration. I'm not saying that. But, at least give us something. Combine the crypt, because they did mention that the crypt is no more, by the way, in case you didn't know. The crypt doesn't exist. So what they could do is combine it with Conquest. This way, that's how you unlock, skins and the alternate fatalities and stuff like that. I don't know. And concept art and all that good stuff, I feel like they could definitely do that. And make it like, they could have like little interactable NPCs, give you little side quests and stuff. Like I said, it doesn't have to be anything too expensive. You don't have to give me, this game is the size of my, city type of deal. Like, no, I'm cool with just something concise that just, adds a little flavor to each realm. Like, oh shit, that's cool. Like, we're actually celebrating all the realms to some extent. Hey, that'd be kind of cool. And hopefully they add little Easter eggs as well. Like I was mentioning in the Deception, especially the Deception one. Man, that Conquest mode was so cool. You could explore all realms. There were those little hidden secrets, like I was mentioning, the Liu Kang one. You will collect currency, to buy on the crypt and stuff. I feel like they definitely could, combine those 2 into one and make it, because I feel like the Armageddon one kind of took a step back, if I'm being honest. I feel like they made it more of an action game, if anything, than an exploration game. So definitely I prefer that if they stick more so to the Deception realm. And yeah, that's pretty much it for it. And here's the thing, for Conquest mode, it doesn't even have to be the main story, because usually how in the 3D era, that's how the story was told. Actually, with Conquest mode, there was no expansive story. That was an MK9 thing. So they don't even have to do that anymore. They don't have to, tell the story throughout these NPCs and stuff like that. Or, these vague PowerPoint cutscenes that you would just press A and to move on. Like they can actually, just give us that in the story, the main story, and then have the conquest mode. Like I said, just, as a little celebration of all the realms. Give us, just a main story, nothing too crazy, just something kind of simple. Hey, you have to go across the realms to keep them safe, protect them for this threat. Liu Kang gives you an order, I don't know. And then you just go across the realms, you meet a couple NPCs, couple of side quests, kind of like in Deception. And that's how you unlock stuff. I feel like that would be kind of cool. So that's my hopes for it, for Conquest. I would say additional modes, but if I get... Ooh, what the hell? That's cool. Not the one I wanted, but Starter's Worm. I love the foil of the shine of this one. But yeah, the other modes, type Conquest. I would love to see chess combat. If I have to pick one mode, I would love to see chess combat. But there's so many other modes that hopefully they can add one. If not, at least later on down the line. I know they already confirmed no chess combat or what's the other one? The card combat. So kind of sucks, but hopefully there's at least something. And the fourth part and last part, since I didn't mention, I would talk about it. But again, this would be my least important one, at least, since again, this is mostly from a single player perspective, is the, actual fighting game mechanics / online. So one thing I hope to see is, I didn't get into the stress test because of course I didn't, because that's just my luck. But from what I was watching a bunch of, streams and videos as much as I could. And hopefully what I'm hoping, because obviously everyone and their mother has already talked about speed, so I'm not going to say, oh, double the speed, just give us all that movement. But what I'll say is hopefully they slightly adjust the speed, gradually, maybe have a day one patch that's slowly adjusted until we find that fine spot, So we can hopefully, as a community, come together in one spot. Obviously, you're never gonna satisfy everyone. That's just how the world works. But hopefully, as a community, we can find a middle point with the developers, and not be toxic about it, of course, and just find little tune spot. Oh, what the hell? Seriously, the second secret is in the final pack. Hopefully we can do that. Hopefully they're willing to listen to that feedback, because I feel like that's the one feedback that unanimously everyone is talking about. And the second part I want to talk about this is cameos. I know a lot of people are boy, yeah, I did not think it was gonna be as contentious as it turned out to be. So a lot of people turns out do not like cameos that much. Because obviously, here's the thing. Imagine your favorite is Cyrex or Sector. Some people might feel kind of cheated. They're like, oh, you could have just added him. But I don't know. I think it's a kind of cool mechanic. Yes, I do wish, full-on tag team came back, obviously. But, hey, I'm willing to give it a try. Again, I didn't really play that much of Towers in MK11. So I know that it was a thing there. But for me, it's brand new since I didn't play it. And besides, either way, they expanded upon it a lot. They just look at how important they are. We're seeing, we were watching the Darius trailer, and he was, doing all these, spins and stuff. It was crazy. And then, they're your combo breaker. They have, all the 4 moves, their grabs. You have so much now synergy now. And now you have to consider, oh, wait, what move is this? Is this a cameo move that is going to keep me in place, or is this a cameo move that is going to allow me to move? Now you have to consider all these different factors, and when can I extend my combo with it? And just imagine, you're going to have 25 characters, including Shang Tsung, plus 16 cameos. You're going to have 25 characters times 16 possibilities of each cameo. If you're a content creator who creates like combo videos and stuff like that, I sympathize with you for this next year. I mean, you're gonna have hella content though, so you're probably set for the year. But hey, it's gonna take you a while to get each character guide out. That's for sure. Here, let me get my top 5. But that is what I kind of hope to see from multiplayer. Again, I'm not too much of a I'm not gonna talk about this move and I want to see this mechanic, because again, I'm not that big of a I'm gonna leave that to the more professional people. Like I said, I like to hop on a couple of times. You know, if someone tells me, hey, you want to hop on? Yeah, I mean, I'll hop on a couple of games. You know, once I'm done with the story, I'll play online a couple of times, and I get my ass kicked like 3 times, and I'm out. And then I'll hop on, every once in a while eventually, just drop it. I feel like that's, how most of the casual audience is. And I feel like that's, realistically speaking, if we're being honest, that is the biggest part of the audience. So hopefully I'm speaking for that part of the audience. Mostly, again. Oh, and also another thing I would like to see, number 3. Towards the end of MK11, I started watching a lot of, or not a lot, but I started watching some competitive MK11, and I really hope they give some help to the scene, man. I hope they do constant tournaments and stuff like that they hold, and they give them, good cash prizes. Because I feel like the competitive scene is such a crucial part of any game, realistically speaking. It motivates people to reach that pinnacle of, oh, let me keep grinding until, I'm better and I can play at such a high level. And it gives an incentive to people as well to, hey, maybe I'll hop on MK and, try it out. So hopefully they do that. Hopefully they have more events, more frequently. So, and they advertise them well. My top 5. And there you go. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the 4 sections. I feel like that pretty much covers. Obviously, there are more niches that I could cover, but again, characters. I feel like they've done an amazing job so far. They've dropped the character bios, so I'm just gonna go in the order. By the way, these are in the order. So number 1, this would be number 2, so and so forth. And this number 6 just kind of stuck, so just ignore number 6. That's not actually number 6. But anyways, yeah, I feel like characters, they've done a pretty good job. If you follow them on Twitter, if you don't follow them, because they drop character bios, and it drops a bunch of hints and Q&As, so you definitely should follow him if you don't. Or, just watch a video from Dynasty, or he usually does recaps pretty good. So, hey, I recommend a shout out to Dynasty. I love his videos. But anyways, yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the main things I would like to see in the new MK. And the things I'm kind of hoping for. Again, characters nailed. Story, I'm kind of hoping, again, just make the villains menacing. I'll let them cook with the writing. I'm not gonna, insert my fanfic here. I'm not gonna, oh, I hope this happens and this happens. I'm gonna let them cook how they cook. Again, the only thing I would hope to insert is the Onaga thing. But, I mean, hey, hopefully he is the main villain. If not, I'll survive, it's okay. I'll be okay. I'll be okay, guys. Nah, I'm just kidding. But, usually I think the story is pretty good. And for the most part, it's pretty, sometimes, yeah, there's some plot holes that you're like, what? But I feel like for the most part, you can just enjoy it, just have a nice evening, have a nice afternoon, nice weekend, just playing the MK story. So, pretty good time. So, that sounds like a good time to me, man. So I'll definitely check that out. Conquest mode, again, this. I don't know if this is a pipe dream at this point, but I really hope they do. Again, not because Street Fighter 6 did it or anything, but now that they did it, it really feeds that hunger that that community has for it as well. So, and I'm including myself, shit. So I really hope they do it and they include it. They just pull the trigger and include all 5 realms and all type of deal. Again, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'll take anything I can get at this point. And multiplayer / the fighting game component, cameos. I'm excited. I'm excited for all the possibilities. I'm excited for all the, combinations, what's going to be meta, what's going to be, I feel like, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how we go from first day to a month later and a year later and 2 years later. I feel like it's going to be a pretty cool, evolution to see. So I'm pretty excited about that. Again, competitive is the one thing as well. I hope that they show full support for as well, that they, motivate people to, hey, sign up for this, maybe do some online events. I know they're not taken as seriously just because the whole connection thing, but hopefully they can motivate some people to sign up for those, at least get started, and maybe some of those people might consider pulling the trigger and actually getting into full-on competitive MK, actually go to events and stuff. So I feel like it's just a win-win for everyone. So that's my thoughts on it. Hey, if you want me to do another video on MK1, talk about a bit more in detail about any of the 4 categories, hey, let me know. Comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned definitely for other gaming I'll probably end up doing one once they reveal the full roster, like a couple weeks before launch. Just how I feel like about it. Just talk about each one. But other than that, again, hey, thank you for sticking with me. If you're a Yu-Gi-Oh fan and you have no interest in MK and you still watch, hey, I appreciate it. If you're an MK fan and you still stuck with me opening a box of Yu-Gi-Oh, I appreciate it. So hey, thanks again and see ya.